People always ask me when I knew it was over. Most people expect shouting, a fight, something dramatic.
It wasn't like that. It started with a phone vibrating on a marble table 3 days after she threw me out. Nobody expected that one forgotten document would stop a $33 million deal. My name is Mark. My wife thought she could erase me. She was only 3 days too late. Sometimes, the people who think they wrote your ending forget who wrote the first chapter.
8 years ago, Alina had nothing. No investors, no capital, just a folder full of sketches and a stubborn belief that one day she would matter. Alina, half asleep. We're gonna make it someday. Mark, softly, without looking up. We already started. I believed in her too. So I did what I was always good at. The part nobody ever applauds. Mark, quietly to himself. If we're gonna do this, let's do it right. Mark, I know it's been years, but I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe this could change everything. Let me see what you've brought. One handshake was all it took to change the future. I'll back the first round. You won't regret it. I filed the paperwork more times than I can count. Most of them after midnight. Because Alina was the face of the company, and I was perfectly happy being its foundation. Burning the midnight oil? Dreams don't keep office hours. When the first investor believed in us, it felt like the world had finally opened a door. We actually did it! No, you did it. She became the face everyone recognized. I stayed where I was most comfortable, behind the curtain. Congratulations, Miss Alina. For a long time, it felt fair. We built something real together. I simply built it from the part of the building no one ever photographs. We're going to build something unforgettable. And we'll build it together. Success has a strange side effect. It quietly rewrites memory.
Good morning, Miss Carter.
Magazine covers, awards, interviews. The company grew, and so did the story people believed.
Perfect, Elena. One more smile. Morning, everyone.
Soon, people started saying she built everything herself. And little by little, she stopped correcting them.
How did you build this company from nothing? It started with a dream and a lot of hard work.
I told myself it didn't matter. Partners don't need applause. Partners need trust.
Congratulations, Elena Carter.
Then, she stopped introducing me. Not suddenly, just less often.
Elena, we'd love a moment.
Trust doesn't disappear overnight. It fades. One uncomfortable moment at a time.
Mrs. Carter, is your husband involved in the business?
Then came the late night calls, quiet voices, closed doors, and one name I had never heard before. Elena.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Elena pauses.
Yes. Of course.
Julian. She said he was an acquisitions consultant. I chose to believe her. That was my first mistake.
Everything okay? Just work.
When the $33 million offer arrived, I watched my wife become someone I barely recognized. Investment banker. This acquisition could change everything. Elena. It already has. Sharper. Colder. Already rehearsing interviews about her solo journey. Elena, practicing softly. It started with one dream. One night, I asked a simple question. Who officially holds the intellectual property? She looked at me like I'd interrupted something important. I'll handle the legal side now. 8 years. Reduced to one sentence. Okay. Later that night, her phone lit up. Text on screen, Julian, call me when you're free. Then another message appeared. This one, I couldn't forget. Text on screen, once the deal closes, none of the old baggage matters. Trust me. I didn't argue. I didn't accuse her. I simply remembered every word. Sometimes, the truth doesn't arrive with an explosion. Sometimes, it begins with a single message.
2 days later, I came home to boxes by the front door and a locksmith's van sitting in my driveway. What's going on? Elena stood in the doorway. Julian. One quiet step behind her. Like a shadow she had already chosen. You're home. I guess I am. Without anger, without tears, she handed me an envelope. These are for you. Divorce papers. 8 years. Reduced to a stack of paper. Then she said the words that echoed in my head for years. Elena, this is my company now. You were never really part of it. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I simply packed what was left of my life. I drove away with 2 suitcases. The only things I apparently still owned. Her words followed me the entire drive. You were never really part of it. She had no idea how wrong she was.
3 days later, her lawyers gathered to finalize the acquisition. To them, it was only paperwork.
Let's begin the due diligence review.
Standard due diligence. Routine. Predictable. Or so they believed.
Let's verify the original filings.
Then, someone noticed something.
Hold on.
Buried inside the original filings, one name kept appearing. Again and again.
Reyes Holdings?
Every document told the same story. A story nobody had bothered to read.
These filings are all consistent.
40% of the voting shares. Co-ownership of the trademarks. One required signature.
This transaction requires his authorization.
Without Mark, nothing could move forward. Not this deal. Not any deal.
We can't complete the acquisition? Elena.
What?
My signature. Without it, the deal couldn't close. Not for $33 million. Not for any price. 2 days later, Elena found me. She looked nothing like the woman who had handed me divorce papers.
Sir, Someone's here to see you. I know. This time, her voice trembled. Thank you for agreeing to meet. Sit. She moved between apologies and pressure. Sometimes in the very same sentence.
The investors are losing patience. We have to close this deal.
I'm listening. One thing stood out. Julian was nowhere in sight.
I can't fix this without you.
I had spent 2 days deciding what kind of man I wanted to be. Revenge was never one of the options. I've already made my decision. There were only 2 paths: destroy everything or make it right. Read it carefully. I wasn't asking for revenge, only the truth and what was fair.
You could have taken everything.
I know. This is the last thing I'll ever do for you. I looked at her one final time. Choose. She signed. And just like that, 8 years came to an end. This is the last thing I'll ever do for you. Choose.
3 weeks later, the acquisition finally closed. $33 million. Exactly as planned, just not the way she had imagined. Congratulations, everyone. The transaction is officially complete. I walked away with what I had truly earned. Not because I wanted revenge, because fairness had finally caught up with the truth. Everything has been transferred. Thank you. People ask if I regret staying invisible. I don't regret the work. I regret believing that disappearing was the price of being loved. I'm building something new. Smaller, slower. Entirely mine.
Where would you like the reception desk?
Right there. This time, my name wasn't hidden inside legal paperwork. It was on the door. Respect is worth more than recognition, and trust is worth more than applause.
Congratulations, Mr. Reyes.
Let's build something we're proud of. No one will erase my name again. Some people leave your life so you can finally meet yourself again.